Hey everybody, it's Brooke. I hope you're having a crafty kind of day. I had somebody ask me to show how to use page protectors or pocket protectors, pocket protectors, I guess, are those things that go in your pocket when you carry pens around. Page protectors, let's go with that. When you're making pages for your junk journals. I almost always include some kind of page protector because I think they're really fun and I like places to tuck in photos or postcards or whatever you feel like tucking in. And you can get these anywhere in any size. These are Bow Bunny that I bought I don't even know how long ago, and it was for a 2 and 3 ring binder. I don't know if they're even available anymore, but that's what it looks like. And they're all different sizes and shapes. Well, no, same size, different shapes. These are from Project Life. They're the kinds that you're supposed to fuse onto other pages with your fuse tool, but they were on clearance at Michael's, I think. Different size Project Life ones. I don't know. I might have gotten these at Goodwill. And then I've got these, which I really like, and they actually came out of a cheesy photo album that I bought at Goodwill. Not great quality, it's pretty flimsy, but they work beautifully. Oh, except for this one, which is torn, so I think I'll throw that away before I use it by mistake. So, yeah, any place that you come across page protectors, you can do something with them. I also have a pack of assorted sizes and shapes in my Etsy shop, and if we're magic, maybe there'll be a link that pops up right there. Or if that doesn't work out, it's always down below in the description. So let me show you the 2 different things that I've been working on for the ledger journal that I am playing with at the moment. One of the ones that I really like to do, that's kind of high, using a glassine bag, and this is a craft colored glassine bag that I think I got in a Happy Mail. I might have gotten them on Etsy, but it is a little over 10 by about 7.5, and it doesn't have, you can use any kind of bag that you have, it's fine. This just happens to be the one I have, and it very closely matches the size of the page protector, so that worked out well. So what we're going to do is make a page that'll fold in the middle so that you can bind it into your journal right here in the center. I'm sure that you know, if you've tried working with page protectors before, really none of the glues work very well. This does kind of need a sewing machine, or if you have a long arm stapler, you can do that too. But tapes and glues generally just don't work that well with the plastic. So this is a really simple one. All I would do is, I know that I want my page to be about 6 inches wide. So this is 7.5. So I'm going to go ahead and fold this bag over to make it, maybe I want this one to be a little short. I don't want it to go all the way to 6 inches for no reason other than I can. So I'll go ahead and fold that over and get my bone folder out. Get a good crisp fold there. So now our glassine bag, this will be 1 page, and it's going to be about 5 3/4. And then on the other side, what we have is the gusset from the bag. These are deep bags, excuse me. So they do have a gusset in them. If it does not have this gusset, if you have just flat paper bags, sorry, I keep trying to go up too high. If you just have flat paper bags, you can cut off the very edge of the bag and you'll have an open side. Excuse me. Gosh, the last video I recorded, I had a sneezing fit. Now I'm having a tickle in my throat. So I'm just going to put in some Fabri-Tac. Oh, and you know what? I forgot to measure how wide this guy is. It is about 6.5, so I'm going to go ahead and tuck it into the gusset pretty far in. And that'll give us good contact to make sure we're good to go and nothing will come out. And I'm using the Fabri-Tac mostly to hold it in place until we can get it to the sewing machine. Put that lid on so we don't have a volcano. And I'm just going to slide this right in. And I've got my crease on the 11-inch mark here. So I know I don't want to go any further than, how far did I say? I don't remember. Oh, probably 17, so this is probably not far enough in. But that's okay, we could also trim some off the right-hand side. Man, the Fabri-Tac's not kidding around. It wants to hold on to something. So much easier when you're not filming, right? So it's a little crooked. I would have taken more time. Ah, I went up too high again. Sorry, guys. Not too bad. Would have gone up. Taken a little more time to straighten it out. Were I doing it by myself. Go ahead and fold that. Okay, and yep, that's going to stick out quite a lot. So we're just going to give that page protector a haircut. Because these sides are open anyway, it doesn't matter. If we cut them off a little further, it works out just fine. So I'll get out my cutter. Had it buried conveniently. And line it up with our glassine bag. And I think I'll go ahead and open the bag just so I don't end up cutting it. Because I would, don't you know? And then poof, we'll get rid of that. And we have right here, without doing anything else, everything else is gravy at this point. Right now, you have a page that you can bind right into your journal, right along the place where we folded it on the glassine bag. What I will do, just for fun, is I think I will take, where did my scraps of paper go? Just because I think it would be fun. I had big scraps of paper somewhere. Here's some ledger. We could use that. We could go ahead and take this ledger paper and tear a sheet. This page got kind of ripped up anyway. So I'm just going to tear a strip that's about as wide as our glassine bag on this side, which would be right about there. And I'm going to get out the old glue stick. And again, this part is just for fun. You already have a page you could pretty much bind into your journal. But as long as you're doing it, you might as well stick some more stuff on it. So I'm just using my glue stick on my glue book. I'm going to make sure I get good coverage. I am loving this glue stick, you guys. Scotch Mega Glue Stick. I just found it when we moved, and I don't remember where it came from or why I have it, but I'm liking it. So I'm not putting it directly into the crease. I gave it maybe 1/16 of an inch, just so that it wouldn't catch in the binding. Make the binding part a little bit easier to go through. And then cover up my glue. I'm so bad about that. Sheesh. Got some excess here that we can tear off. Kind of hard when the glue's still wet. I guess I should have used the scissors. I can use the scissors now. And that is quite a glare. It's hard to film with page protectors with all their plasticness. Doesn't that look pretty? Just as a little bit more interest. And then I think I will grab a little bit of trim. What have I got in the old trim drawer? You can see how prepared I was for this. Something kind of narrow. This was in the top drawer. It's what I grabbed. And I do think I just want something kind of narrow because we don't want to block all the space where the photos will go. And I'll eyeball this. Just put a little bead of, I'll use art glitter glue since it's paper at this point. Just going to put a little bead down again to hold for sewing. Oh, why is my art glitter glue not coming out? What's up with that? I just soaked my tip to get all the gummed up stuff out. Irritating. Okay, so we have that. I'm just going to go ahead and lay that piece of trim right there. Love that. And if we wanted to, gosh, I'm telling you, getting that pin in, hardest thing about crafting, not kidding. So we've got all that. There's that. We could put something on this side as well. And then we have the glassine bag where we could decoupage a napkin or just leave it plain or stencil it or whatever. But we could go ahead and let's use some of this. I'm working with this scrapbook pad that is Prima, and it is called Lavender, I think. And I think it was really popular like two years ago or something. I'm always slow on the uptake, you know. We'll just go ahead and tear a piece off here. Probably would have been easier to use my cutter, huh? When do I make anything easy? Never. Never, ever, ever. Okay. Yes, once again, need my scissors. Just went a little haywire down at the bottom. I should probably show you that. Just nipping that a little bit off. So we're gonna have that. What if we used our edge punch? What if we got the butterflies going the right direction? Ooh, what a concept. That would be really pretty with the edge punch, wouldn't it? Let's do that. Let's see if I can find that little rascal. Oh, I like this one. When I was working on the Christmas folio, I lost one of the segments when I was decorating, and my darling friend 87, the Jersey crafter Laura, had asked about lining up your border punches. And so I very carefully showed her how I do it. And of course, then I lost that video. So why don't we do that again? This is for you, 87. So we've got this. Let me see about where we're going. Get a height deal here. I use my pencil. I've lost all my pencils. I've only got this big bulky one. I love my Ticonderoga blacks, and I leave them all over the house because I love them so much. Yeah, all right. Think I can cut that much of a straight line? Doubt it. All right. So we've got our little butterflies, and that's the right direction. So I want to put the border punch on the left-hand side. So this is a Fiskars. What I'm going to do is it does have, right here, it's got a little doodah for centering. Do I measure my paper to center it? No. I would probably get more consistent results if I did. I am going to go ahead and turn it around because I just think it's easier to punch that way. I don't know why. Make sure you can see. And I'm just going to punch. Oh, maybe this isn't the one that's easier upside down. Maybe that's Martha Stewart. Then you've got your little line of punches. And I'm going to line these up with the silver marks on the punch. Okay, can you see that? So we'll just scoot it over this direction. Make sure it's lined up. And you can see, I'm sure you can't on camera, but you can see in person. You can make sure, oops. You can make sure that you got only 2 over, not 3. Let's see if we can do that without doubling up. Oh, look, it worked. Okay, so now we're going to line up these 2. Line those right up. Make sure the paper is pushed back up against the ledge. There we go. That is lined up. And boom. And yeah, generally you get a little bit of a funny edge. Oh, there. Can you see it that way? My hands look so red. You get a little bit of a funny doodah there, but it's really not a big deal. It'll be just fine. Okay, so now we do it on the other side. We line up these 2. You know what? I'm going to pull this off because it's messing with being able to line it up properly. So we're lining up these two on the left-hand side, making sure they are covering up the silver. I cannot see. Is my head like totally in camera? Is that a thing? I like that my camera is up. Why am I having such a hard time? My camera is up higher now, so I don't generally get my old noggin right in the shot. There we go. I don't know why that was so tricky. I'm gonna line up those two right on these little dots on the right. Every time I move my hand, it tries to move the paper. And we'll just get one more. And lining up, making sure that's butted up against the lip. And boom. You have this beautiful decorative edge with just a little piece of hair sticking out there that I'm going to rip off. So it's just so pretty. We'll go ahead and ink that edge so it'll stand out more. Love this paper. It's so nice. And it is funny because I know everybody was using it. I think it was 2 years ago. And I never got it. And then I saw it the other day at Hobby Lobby and said, oh, that's so pretty. I think I'll use that now. I'm surprised they still carry it. Okay. Getting that inked. Haven't we established that I am the slowest inker in the world? Sorry to make you watch. But we'll bring that over. Here's our glassine bag again. Scoot that down. And we've got this beautiful strip, and I think I'm going to line it up where the ledger paper is just poking out a little bit. So I'm going to go ahead and I think I'll use the art glitter glue to get up around some of those little dots. Finer tip, you know, and I should be using a glue book, shame on me. But a lot of this is going to be sewn, so it's just fine. Look at that. See, I got glue everywhere. Use your glue book. Do as I say, not as I do. And I'm just going to line that up with that torn piece of ledger on the other side. Give it a good press. Oh, I love how that looks. That makes me very happy. And then I will take that to my sewing machine and just run, I'll probably run it on this side and just catch the edge of this trim and do a wide zigzag. And then it will all be stitched down and it will be gorgeous. And you have a glassine bag on one side and you have these fun little pockets to slip in photos or whatever you'd like on the other. And it is all ready to be bound in. Boom, that easy. So that is one way that I use page protectors. And again, it can be any size page protector. It can be any size bag. It doesn't even have to be a bag. It could just be a book page, whatever. If the page protector is shorter, you can just lock the bag off to be the same height. It is all fine. It'll work. You just have to sort of make adjustments for the size of your sheet protector. So that's one way. And then I'll show you another one that I am fond of with, we'll just use the rest of this paper. So let's see. I'm thinking for a moment. Let me get out my scoreboard. Again, cleverly buried. So I think what we should do, I want the, yes, I'm mathing. Oh my goodness, I'm mathing. I think I want the page protectors to be on the left-hand side this time. It's really not a big deal. So I'm going to go ahead and score it at just a little under 6 inches. My scoreboard has been packed forever and I have missed it. I'm not very good at eyeball folding, I gotta tell you. And we'll go ahead and trim this down to 10 inches. that corner I missed. So we'll trim it off that side. Get some of that mess out of my way. Okay, so what we have now is a page where we have, on one side, we'll just have the beautiful, oh, why do I keep creeping upwards? Shame on me. The crease is right here, our fold is right there. So one side will just be this gorgeous scrapbook paper and whatever I decide to do to it. And then we have this other side. So what I want to do with this is, let's see, I think I will use these little Project Life page protectors for this one. And I think we are going to try to put 3 in. Woo! Living dangerously! Living dangerously! Where'd I throw my ruler? Alright, you guys. Oh, right here. Okay, so I'm going to tear. How much do I want to leave? Maybe an inch. Maybe a half an inch. I think I'll go with half an inch. So, see if I can get this moderately straight. You know that's generally not my gig. Straight. Nope. Overrated. Tear that off so we have some more beautiful scrap paper to play with. Okay, then we just have a half-inch little gussety guy. Let's open these. I haven't even opened this. I think I've got 3 or 4 of them. I really do pick up page protectors whenever I see them because I like to try to figure out weird things to do with them. Let's see if we can do 3, shall we? And you know what we could do? You see, there are 2 things we could do. We could either just take this edge, let me see if you can see that, the edge where it's supposed to slip into your Project Life book, and stitch those right onto our little flap. And we could have 2 on there very easily. Just go ahead and stitch them on right along here, and you'd have 2 page protectors. However, I am feeling kind of wacky. Just trying to figure out in my head if it'll work. They open from the top. Good to know. So I think what we're going to do instead is figure out. I could be mathing, but I'm not. We're going to cut 2 slits into our piece of paper here. On the side that we've torn off, I'm just going to cut one right here. And again, I'm really not measuring. I'm really eyeballing. Cut one right there. Okay, so this is what we have. We've got a flap here. We've got a flap in the middle. And then we've got a flap at the bottom. Let's go ahead and miter those. Not a ton, just enough to make them slip into the pockets easily. Don't want to lose too much of the surface area of the paper. My camera, I don't know why it's down so low. One of these days, I'll get it to be exactly where I want it. Of course, it won't stay that way because I'll hit it with my head. Okay, so what we're going to do with this is, just for fun, we are going to give the page protector a haircut, and I'm going to cut right along the perforation. So I'm opening it up on this side. The photo opening is at the top. I'm going to make a second opening on the side. Living on the edge. And then what we're going to do is take just a little bit of Fabri-Tac. And again, working with page protectors, you really probably are going to need to sew this. The Fabri-Tac will hold for a little bit, but not terribly durably. But again, a stapler, if you have a long arm stapler, that would work as well. So where's the one we cut? Here we go. Make sure the top photo opening's at the top. What a concept. And then I'm just going to put this little flap, I'm going to line the page protector up at the top of the page, and that little flap is right inside. And then what we'll do, this will, I'm going to try to be gentle here because the Fabri-Tac is still wet, but that will operate independently as a photo sleeve. Oops, and I moved it. Darn it. Come on, Fabri-Tac. There we go. I'm going to hold that down for a minute and hope that it'll stick. Hold it up, make sure it's still straight. It is indeed. All right, just give it a mush for a minute. Okay. Ooh, water. Yum, that tasted good. So here is another sleeve, same size. The opening's at the top. I'm going to go ahead and do the same thing and just cut off the sealed part where it's supposed to slide into a binder. Not that that wouldn't be delightful. If you wanted to just put it in a 3-ring binder, that would save you some time, wouldn't it? I'm going to use my Fabri-Tac again. I will also let this set up for a while before I put it through my sewing machine. Fabri-Tac generally dries really quick, but because it's plastic, it takes a little bit longer, and I don't want to gum up the works of my sewing machine. I need to clean that tip, as usual. All right, so double checking that, yes, that's the top. Always a good idea. Turn this sideways and slide that right on top of the little flappy-doo that we made. Line it up with the bottom. Press that down. Okay, and then again, what I'll do is I'll start sewing right up here. Let me see if I put this under it. Maybe you can see it better. You see where the page protector starts? I will go ahead and start sewing there and sew all the way down to catch the paper as well and to finish closing up the pocket that we just cut. Okay, so those are sitting. Make sure I didn't jiggle it. Still straight, hot dog. Okay, so those guys are right there. Now what I'm going to do is put the last pocket on this third middle flap so it lays on top of these two. So then you have different flaps to move. Does that make sense? Hopefully, some kind of sense. Yep, that'll work. Just eyeball it. It sounded good in practice, or in theory rather. I thought I'd double check in practice and all. Sometimes the best laid plans. Okay, and again, a little bit of Fabri-Tac. Yeah, okay, I need something to wipe this off with. Here we go, a paper towel. How convenient. Much better, like a brand new bottle. Get some of that on there. Prevent the volcano. Checking to make sure we got the top. Yep, we do. Can I get it over the flap? You know what? Actually, I think I'm going to make this one smaller. Just because the flap is a whole lot smaller, and I feel like it. So let's see about that whole cutting a straight line. Not bad, especially for me. Better get going before the Fabri-Tac dries up on me. There we go. Oh, I like that. I like that smaller size. That's fun. And I'm just lining it up on that flap, and you can't tell, but the paper flap is in between the two layers of plastic. And give that another press. Let it set up for a minute. Let me slide this in and see if I can show you. It's kind of a sideways waterfall. All right. So what you'll have on this side will be a page protector that opens, a page protector that'll open, and another page protector down here that will open. And the whole thing can be bound in right on that crease that we made at the beginning. So I'll close that back up, and I will go along, once the Fabri-Tac has had a chance to dry, I'll go along and stitch along each one of those flaps, just to make sure that the page protectors are good and solid. So those are two super fun ideas. Can't really see it because they're clear. They're page protectors. But two fun ways to use different sized salvaged page protectors and actually make pages to bind into a journal. So I hope that that answered your question, and thanks so much for watching. Again, I do have page protector packs in my Etsy shop. If you like the video, go ahead and give me a thumbs up, click like, click subscribe, ding the little bell, and you'll get notified when I go on. And thanks so much for joining me. You guys have a great afternoon, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.